organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
The controversy is finally over. A decision has been made in the debate over whether to sell the UI's Jackson Pollock painting. We'll tell you the mural's fate coming up next.
Plus, see how some local youngsters are taking athletics to new heights.
And in sports, a look at the new leader of the Hawkeye softball team.
All this, plus a look at your local weather forecast, is headed your way next.
Daily Iowan TV starts now. Thanks for tuning in to your Monday edition of Daily Iowan TV, your television news, sports, and weather source from the Daily Iowan. I'm Natalie Schlicht.
And I'm John Jetcott. The University of Iowa's most famous piece of artwork is officially safe from being sold. A member of the Iowa House withdrew a controversial bill that would have forced the UI to sell its Jackson Pollock painting, Mural. The bill was introduced on February 16th by Republican Scott Raker of Urbandale, who withdrew it from consideration today after he said debate about the issue became too polarized. Many UI officials and State Board of Regents members came out in opposition to the bill, saying it would have detracted from the university's credibility in the art world and broke the trust of donors. Now, had the bill gone through, the money raised from the painting, which is valued at $140 million, would have gone to fund 1,000 UI art scholarships.
On Sunday afternoon, top wedding designers and vendors from across the state came to the Iowa Memorial Union to present a high-fashion wedding show featuring the latest styles and decorations. Daily Iowan TV's Tasha Woods gives us a look at the event.
A wedding fashion show took place for the fourth year in a row Sunday afternoon as many people gathered to watch beautiful, handsome, and yes, very adorable models rock the runway.
I think we have a lot of followers because we do try to execute really beautiful shows.
And beautiful it was. Top Iowa wedding vendors from across the state have come together to put on a show that went above and beyond in showing off these glamorous dresses and tuxedos. In fact, a bride-to-be from Sioux City came in search of vendors for her upcoming wedding. However, the true star of this show is Cynthia Dietz, who made all of this possible.
I own weddingsiniowa.com, which is Iowa's largest online resource.
Not only does Cynthia, owner and operator of weddingsiniowa.com, but she has a master's in event planning, takes care of a rental company, as well as florals. In other words, Cynthia has everything it takes to put on a great show.
I'm at the Iowa Memorial Union at the University of Iowa, where many models and vendors have come together to put together a beautiful fashion show. Overall, it has been a wonderful success. This is Tasha Woods, Daily Iowan TV.
To learn more about the latest trends in designer gowns, head over to www.weddingsiniowa.com.
A new law may force some Iowa teens to wait longer before getting their licenses, 6 months longer. A new bill recently passed by the Iowa Senate Transportation Committee would increase the length of time teens would need to have their permits before getting their actual licenses. Currently, teens only need permits for 6 months before they can get their licenses, but under the new law, that period would be extended to a full year. Supporters of the bill say the extra time spent with parents and driving instructors would cut down on accidents and make Iowa roads safer.
The new UI Wellness and Recreation Center is giving kids the opportunity to touch the earth. The Youth Climbing Club introduces younger individuals to the sport of rock climbing and teaches them the basics. With aid from facility trainers, the children take turns climbing and spotting one another. For some families, the high-energy activity is a great outlet, and the new Rockwell gives kids a chance to try a sport they may not have otherwise had access to.
Dave Patton, Touch the Earth, kind of organized a youth climbing program, and it started last fall. So she's been climbing for about 5 months. So they just sent out an email and they signed up. It was the one after-school activity that she was really passionate about.
The club is part of the Rec Center's Touch the Earth program, an outdoor education program that hosts adventure trips and adventure-based outdoor learning events throughout the year.
And it was a race against the clock. Over the weekend, teams competing in the 48-hour film race worked together to put together an entire film in just a weekend. The race was hosted by the Bijou Theater, and Daily Iowan TV's Pat Riley gives us an inside look at the challenges one team faced in trying to complete this extraordinary task.
Beginning Friday evening, nearly 20 groups of filmmakers picked up equipment and cleared their weekend schedules to prepare for a time-crunching contest involving the complete production from idea to editing of a film in a 48-hour span.
It's attacks on your emotions and your physical capabilities of carrying around these cameras, getting the performances you want out of the actors, and just trying to make a good movie while being tired and not knowing exactly, maybe not even knowing what you're doing completely.
To add another twist to the competition and make sure no previous footage is used, organizers had set guidelines such as genre type, names, dialogue, and even props to heighten the excitement of this film contest.
I think the important thing is that you can make a film that you can put alongside all the other films that you spend months making and still be proud of it as part of your work.
Although this group was disqualified from competition for submitting their work 2 hours late, the team was proud of their work and what they had accomplished in such little time.
With filmmaking, too, is you plan and you plan, and it doesn't matter how long you plan, something can always go wrong, and something always does go wrong, you know. That's part of the fun of it, too.
For Daily Iowan TV News, I'm Patrick Riley.
To see all of the participants' films, make sure to attend the screening on Thursday, February 24th at 10 p.m. in the Bijou Theater. The screening is free and open to the public.
There's still more to come on Daily Iowan TV. Learn about how a growing religious trend is affecting Iowa City.
And in sports, find out who is making a huge impact on the success of the men's golf team.
But first, Daily Iowan TV's Reed Chandler joins us in the studio for a quick look at your local weather forecast. And Reed, it's been cloudy for days. When can we look forward to some sunnier skies here?
Unfortunately, Natalie, we won't be seeing much of the sun this week. Tomorrow's skies will be cloudy all day, with the evening slightly clearing up to partly cloudy. The temperature will stay in the 30-degree range all day with a high of 34. For the extended forecast, Wednesday will see the highest temperatures all week with highs of 42 degrees, but a drizzle will be present for most of the day. We could see some snow mixed with rain on Thursday, as well as a cold, cloudy weekend. A chance of snow is also present for Saturday. Let's just make it through this week, and hopefully we'll see some nicer weather in the future. Back to you guys at the desk.
On any given day, millions of people across the country head to their local places of worship to practice their religion. But of course, not everyone devotes themselves to a particular religion. And in fact, a recent study shows that there are more secular students now than ever before. Daily Iowan TV's Molly Shao takes a look at this growing trend.
The Secular Student Alliance has about 250 student groups in colleges and high schools around the country, including one at Kirkwood Community College in Cedar Rapids called Kirkwood for Reason.
Basically do target First Amendment type issues. We have discussions, tablings. We have little campaigns that we set up, like Arrest the Pope campaign was a few months ago.
The group devotes themselves to separating church and state by sharing their beliefs around the Kirkwood campus. They recently handed out Arrest the Pope buttons after the group disagreed with letters that were sent by Pope Benedict to the church.
My interest is often political. I'm fascinated by religion. I always have been since a child, even though I've never felt religious or connected with it.
The number of secular groups across the nation is rising. A study from USA Today shows that the number of United States citizens who claim to have no religion has risen from 1990 to 2009. And although the members of Kirkwood for Reason say that they have had instances with others convincing them to change their mind, they believe that the conflict makes for more interesting arguments.
I celebrate that. That is, to me, that's the joy of teaching. That's the most exciting moment, is when the diverse views come in a safe environment and we can discuss them and share and not feel intimidated.
And although there is no system of belief for the atheist person, the group says that they live by the golden rule. Molly Shao, Daily Iowan TV.
If you'd like to get involved in a local secular student group, you can get more information at www.secularstudents.org.
And protests continued in Madison on Monday as union workers battled to maintain their collective bargaining rights. Wisconsin Governor and Republican Scott Walker has said he will hold fast in support of new legislation that would increase benefit costs to public employees. Walker has said unions currently have too much power, and his opinion hasn't changed despite the fact that 14 Wisconsin Democrats actually fled the state last week to delay a vote on the issue. Those Democrats say they will continue to boycott the vote until Governor Walker is willing to negotiate.
2 Libyan Air Force pilots defect after being ordered to bomb citizens. Those reports coming out of the African country today as pro-democracy demonstrators join the wave of protests that has swept the Middle East and North Africa in recent weeks. An opposition group also reported that government helicopters fired on protesters today, but those reports have not yet been confirmed. The country's leader, Muammar Gaddafi, remains in Libya despite the violence and reports that he was fleeing the country and traveling to Venezuela. And now Daily UITV Sports Director Chelsea Byrne is with us. And Chelsea, there's been a lot made about Fran McCaffrey coming in as the new basketball coach, but he's not alone.
That's right. He's not the only new coach on campus. There's another coach that is making her Hawkeye debut in the 2011 season. When former Iowa softball coach Gail Blevins announced in June that she was retiring from coaching, the University of Iowa community knew things would be different without the Hall of Fame coach who had represented the black and gold for 23 years. But different isn't necessarily a bad thing. Daily Iowa TV Sports' Alicia Denez has some insight into the brand new face of the Iowa softball program.
Iowa softball program has a new face in town, and she goes by the name of Marla Looper. And let's just say she's excited to mix things up.
It's a matter of just starting new. I think a lot of people that have been around the program know that there's been a long storied history, and it's one coach has been here for a long time, and I respect everything she's done. I'm not here to fill her shoes. I'm here to start something new, and it's going to be a little different look.
Looper comes to Iowa after serving as an assistant coach at the University of Texas for the past 11 seasons. So one may wonder why she chose the move to Iowa.
It has a history of being a very good program. It's been on the national level for a while. I wanted an opportunity to come in and help take it back to national prominence. It's in a good place right now, and it's a great opportunity to move forward.
Looper has a passion for coaching that has been recognized as she has worked with many great young players, including gold medalist Kat Osterman.
I love working with young ladies every day. I think the growth that I see in their 4 to 5 years sometimes is bigger than the growth that parents see from birth to 18 years old. And I like seeing them develop into young women that eventually go out into the world. And softball is just an avenue to do that. And that's the fun part about it.
Looper and her team will be traveling to different tournaments till conference play. But once mid-March rolls around, fellow Hawkeyes should come out to see what her and her team have to offer. Alicia Danius, DITV Sports.
The Iowa softball team was supposed to play 4 games over the weekend in Tempe, Arizona, but only managed to fit in 2 after heavy rain showers canceled Saturday's contest. The rain sent the Hawkeyes home with a perfect 2-0 record for the weekend. And speaking of sluggers, let's take a look at how the Iowa men's baseball team did over the weekend when it traveled to St. Petersburg, Florida for the Big Ten Big East Challenge. The weekend didn't turn out quite like the Hawkeyes had hoped, but it wasn't without outstanding effort from Jack Dom's squad. Friday morning matched the Hawks against West Virginia, where they fell 5-0 in their season opener. Saturday night's game against Pittsburgh kept everyone on their toes as the two teams battled into extra innings. Junior Nick Brown pitched all the way into the 7th and helped the Hawkeyes maintain a 2-0 lead. After Brown left, Pittsburgh rallied to tie it up in the 7th and eventually went on to win in the 11th inning. Sunday was another close one with Seton Hall losing a nerve-wracking game 2-0. With the weather still pretty grim up here in Iowa, the Hawkeyes travel to Lawrence, Kansas this weekend for games against St. Louis and Kansas. And the University of Iowa golf team has become a dominant force on the links. The 11th-ranked Hawkeyes are propelled by the senior leadership of their 4 seniors, especially that of Vince India. The Deerfield, Illinois native is currently ranked as the 9th best collegiate golfer in the country, according to Golf Week. His head coach, Mark Hankins, attributes India's high ranking to his dominant play during the fall season of his senior campaign.
Well, he finished in the top 5 of all 5 tournaments. So that's talking about anywhere from, maybe 10, 11 teams to 15 teams in some tournaments.
India and the Hawkeyes' next competition will take place on March 5th in Dallas, Texas.
Lucky for them, they get to go to some warmer climates. Thank you, Chelsea.
Yep.
Okay, thanks, Chelsea. And only with Daily Iowan TV can you get a sneak peek at Tuesday's pages of the Daily Iowan. Read about a lecture from Iowa Supreme Court Justice David Wiggins.
Plus, be sure to check out the Daily Iowan's monthly Q&A session with UI President Sally Mason. And before we leave you, here's one last look at your final weather forecast for Tuesday. Tomorrow we'll see a high of 34 degrees with cloudy skies and a low of 29 degrees.
And that's your Monday edition of Daily Iowan TV. Be sure to tune in on Tuesday at the same time or check us out online at dailyiowan.com.
Thanks for watching and have a great night.